Hey everyone, welcome back to another, I'd say exciting episode, but I'm not that full of it, I have no idea what the point of going live is, but that being said, honestly, I have a couple of hours of BS to do tonight, basically cleaning, and even more importantly, taking out the trash. It's garbage night, and I actually have a rather important thing. That I kind of need to do in relation to trash. And so it takes longer than you would think, just like 2 minutes of going around emptying trash cans and throwing them away. Sadly, it's a bit more complex than that. And that's kind of what we're going to do for a little while. To be perfectly honest. And then you can see that this absolutely dumpster fire of a bedroom that I'm standing here behind. So I've learned in the last couple of days that, well, essentially I am inheriting a couple of rather beautiful pieces of furniture, which will basically replace this bed, and there's a dresser too, just right out of sight behind the other side of this door here, and because of that, this room, which has had this delightful tropical motif and everything for, oh gosh, a couple of decades now, is basically going to be completely renovated in the next couple of weeks, or the next couple of months, and so as a result, I've just started the process of basically emptying out that whole thing, or of not emptying out the whole thing. That's not accurate, but taking a lot of stuff out because there's going to be like I said, an entire dresser type of thing that's going to be removed, and this huge other thing taken in, and honestly, this room, well, frankly, needs a 20-year, it's been 20 years and probably needs a facelift. So, anyway, going to start moving things around in here later on in this little stream. It's about 7:15 right now. I'm in the Pacific time zone, and you're, as a result, and because it's the Pacific time zone, it's about 7:15, going to be probably doing this stuff until about 9 o'clock, when I am going to be writing my notes for, and then filming my update video, which is essentially, if you look at my channel, I basically do daily vlogs. Now, am I a content creator? Absolutely not. Or professional content creator? No. I'm generally a dude who just records a 10-minute just rundown of my day. I started doing Facebook updates, like just a little handwritten Facebook thing way back. We were talking the knots. 08, 09, something like that. I started doing daily Facebook updates. And as time has progressed, we all kind of know that people don't read a whole lot anymore of like Facebook posts that are handwritten and written out instead of like videos like this. Because of that, I just kind of stopped writing my updates for a while, because just looked like, that part of the internet is, I don't want to say dying, but, well, it's evolving. And unfortunately, in our visually based world right now, There is, well, I mean, it favors the super pretty people. It does. So I get it. And that's all the younger folks and all that. So I have absolutely, in short, I have basically zero, expectation to be like one of those super pretty people who, oh my gosh, I can do a, and somehow that gets clipped and gets 28 million views, and somehow I have a revenue stream for, oh, let's get real. Come on. Anyway, so why am I doing this then? And I think I talked about this at the beginning of a couple of other streams, which honestly you haven't seen because I haven't posted those streams yet, simply for no other reason besides I haven't gotten to it. This is the third time that I've done one of these live streams, and I should post those, and hopefully I have this idea that sooner or later I'm going to clip those, and because I do have an Instagram where I do clips as well. I think I've been posting the clips on Facebook on Insta as well, or TikTok and Insta as well, which are just clips from my daily vlogs, and they're going to be clips from these live streams as well. Basically, the parts that I find the most interesting. In the first stream, or I guess the second one, there's a chest of drawers right back here. I was pulling something out of the chest of drawers. This teddy bear, and which is actually a teddy bear from a large local retail store. Former mascot of a large local retail store. It was sitting on a counter, and while I'm saying something on one of these streams, he just falls on my head. Bounces off my head and falls onto the floor. That type of thing is, or if I happen to say something insightful, which I don't even know if I'm capable of that, but if I do happen to say something insightful, I might make that into a clip as well. But like I said, so why do people I still don't even understand what the point of these live things are, but what the heck, if anybody wants to join me while I'm talking and whatnot, while I'm taking out trash and cleaning, well, you're in the right place. If you're interested in watching me do stuff, believe it or not, my account is probably the right place to watch me do stuff. Crazy how that works. Anyway, let's see. So step one. Step one here is, again, it's trash night. Trash night in my neighborhood is Thursdays. And, well, if I'm being honest, I live in I'm going to make some ice here real quick. I live in a place where they, the next state over has one of those bottle bills, where, you can redeem soda cans and pop bottles and stuff for like 8 or 10 cents or something. And because of that, we get the side effect of basically having our trash cans dug through every trash night, or at least the recycling ones. As you'll see, I tend to load the main trash so full that I think anybody's scared to do anything to it. Now, honestly, this is not a good example of a trash week, simply because I had company this week, and for that reason, I have a lot more regular trash than normal. My mom came to visit earlier this week for a couple of days, and because she was here, one, my house is a hell of a lot cleaner. than it was, oh gosh, even a few days ago. And that's in large part because, because of a bunch of drama and, well, not drama, but family issues that you can actually see in, if you look at my daily vlogs going back to when I started them in September, or I'm sorry, in December, you can, which kind of spell out, it's not drama, but just part of life when you have parents that are a little bit older, and there are things, and oops, wonder what this does. Oh, I just found something new. Oh, I can change the background. That's cool. Effects, stickers, music, voice effects. Listen to music during this. What's this do? Can you guys hear that? That's cute. Now how do I stop it? Huh. Interesting. I will not be listening to that during this, but it's interesting to know something I can do. Like I said, not a professional. Let's see. So I'm emptying trash cans now. I kind of do this in the way where I wander around and just empty the trash. Of course, I need to be more careful about that. Making sure there's nothing actually that's spilled into trash cans that I'm just emptying out without changing the liner. Because, well, we're in ant season. And I haven't seen the movie. And, no, I take that back. I have seen ants. Where I saw the movie Ants, was actually while, stranded overnight at, Chicago O'Hare Airport back in, 2011. I did a lot of traveling for work. A cruise director for a cruise line for, well, everything in entertainment, but ending with cruise director for a cruise line for quite a while. And did a lot of traveling, and but we ended up at O'Hare Airport. And first flight got started on time, and second flight, which was expected to take us to, God, where was I flying to? Oh, I was supposed to be flying to Estonia to meet a ship. And, well, ended up spending a night in O'Hare, and, missed the connecting flight. And I couldn't board the ship when I expected to. But anyway, it was while stuck at O'Hare Airport that I ended up watching the movie Ants on my laptop. How about that? Okay, now, let's see. Anyway, yeah, so trying to be more careful about replacing trash can liners to avoid freaking ants. Is there an easy way to flip the screen on this during one of these lives? Flip camera? Yeah, got some little freaking jerk-off ants onto a bath mat we had here. Which I'll show you that bath mat when I get down to where the trash is. So anyway, yeah. Hate ants. Alright, let's see. Flipping the camera around again. Okay, that's upstairs trash. I personally drink way too much diet soda. Yeah, I know. aspartame is probably, or whatever it is probably why I have 6 brain cells. But 3 or 4 of them are highly functioning brain cells, so, you know, whatever. And now, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I am replacing the trash bag. Aren't you glad you came? Anyway. Honestly, I'm not even sure if this stream is public. I may just basically be recording a video of my right now. Like I said, only 3rd time. I say 3rd time's a charm, but 3rd time's just as silly as the first 2 times. Alright, so collected the trash. Like I said, normally this is a bigger, longer thing. And the reason I keep stating how long trash night can take is quite simply because I have this rule that I started about 6 weeks ago, after some unfortunate family developments, which, again, the same things that I mentioned that are spelled out in previous videos. Tying shoes. I lost my train of thought. And but sorry. Apparently can't talk and oh my goodness gracious. Apparently I can't talk and tie my shoes at the same time. You saw it here first. So, son of a biscuit. Light burnout. Fabulous. All right. How many TikTok content creators will it take to change the light bulb? Probably only one. How many TikTok creators will actually remember to change that light bulb? Given that the only one that can do that in this circumstance is me, probably one. So, okay, replace that light bulb. I'm actually going to, right now, unscrew that and put it on my kitchen counter. Because, knowing me, I'm not at work, so this is OSHA compliant. Wasn't that satisfying? No, that scraping noise was painful. Not really. Light bulb! Bing! Alright. Alright, now what's going to happen next? Is that, excuse me. What's going to happen next is I'm going to be, well, actually, you know what's going to be better? I'm going to go and get my other camera holder. I have 2 camera holders, or tripods, or whatever those things are. I have 2 of them, and going to grab one. Just because, well, during what I'm doing with this, it's just going to be easier if I don't hold this phone. So, there we go. All right, so, and it's frankly embarrassing how bad our the the garage looks. All this crap, well, wonderful stuff. It's absolutely wonderful stuff. Here's my garage, complete with a Tiny Toon Adventures poster. And absolutely terrible lighting in here. And why is that? Because it's a garage. And I suppose I can plug in my ring light in here, but I don't think it's going to help very much. But sure, why not? So here we go. Vámonos. Vámonos, let's go. Maybe if I press that music button that I just tried again and play music, it'll make the horrible sound that we're about to hear of the garage door opening slightly less bad. Unlikely though. Now, what's going to happen, I'm going to open that garage, I'm going to grab my trash can, wheel it in here, and then we're going to start filling up with more junk. Oh! Isn't that a nice noise? I live for that. Hey, it's a trash can. Isn't it beautiful, boys and girls? And this is going to be a lot quicker than I thought because, again, thanks to having company earlier, it's almost already full. See how macho I look just putting that trash in there, by the way? Alright. Okay, got that in there. Now, here comes the point of this. So, see this part of this trash can here? This is how I'm beginning the slow process of excuse me. Who would have thought it would be unpleasant to make you cough? To be right next to a trash can. Who would have thunk it, right? Oh yeah. Because lighting is awesome. So, regardless, so what we're going to be doing now, the mission is to find stuff to fill up the rest of this trash can. And now, that might sound like nothing. Alright? Honestly, might sound like nothing, but it is actually something, and the reason for that being that, well, I didn't phrase that very clearly. In short, the reason why I would consider this to be an interesting bit, is that, or not so much interesting, but, the reason I would find this to be, something that is worth, even showing, oh, when I was in the bathroom talking about the ants, they were on here, and they're not alive anymore, but this is where they were. And unfortunately I had to take this, spray the crap out of it. Those are stupid ants, but anyway. That's going to be going back upstairs here relatively soon, but not tonight. Alright, so goal is we're going to find stuff to fill up here. While I find it, or while I'm digging, there will certainly be things to talk about. Or at least being able to discuss some of the stuff that we have looked at. And I have a way of getting off on tangents about stuff that I'm looking at. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing here for the next little bit of time. Alright, so let's see. End up having a little bit more space than I expected here to need to fill. And so you'll see that I have all sorts of stuff here. And stuff that I have tends to fall into several different categories. And yeah. Honestly, I love this apartment. An attached garage is not a super common thing, especially anymore. At one point, we used this room like another bedroom. Well, not like a bedroom, not sleeping down here, but even had a couch down here at one point years ago. And a TV over here with like whatever video game system. Oh my god, this would be dating myself, but I want to say it was a SNES, maybe a GameCube. But yeah, that's literally been that long. And that would be why maybe why I have so much stuff. Oh, here we go. No, that's not that brush. Hairbrush for fur scrubbing brush for my parents' adorable little cat, named Oliver. All right, so what's happening now is I'm just basically looking around. Now, I've been doing this for multiple weeks now, so I have looked through a lot of this stuff already, and like this is fascinating. Like this box here is simply old stuff from well, it's a collection of in particular my grandmother's things. And like this. This is the script for for the play that my one of the plays that my grandmother was in high school, and the whole script to it, including with like her notes. She was a character named Grace, and anyway, the performance of this play was in 1931, and yet there's the script, which I did not damage by dropping it right there, including my grandmother's handwritten notes on the front page. Looks like they did some sort of state project, like, you know, research a state project. And when grandma was in 8th grade, so this would have been somewhere, I don't know, 1925-ish, section about Los Angeles. Have a feeling that the way that she describes Los Angeles and the way that Los Angeles is now, probably slightly different. And yeah, and I want to say this is like, she was like in 8th grade or something. A picture of Los Angeles that was glued in there. Where are like the grandma? Where are the transients and stuff? And the drugs and needles and encampments and stuff. Anyway. And here is a program for that play that grandma was in, including the date of 1931. I absolutely am keeping this box. This is not something that I'm getting rid of or anything. And so why am I showing this on a trash stream? Well, among other things, to explain why it takes so long for me to take out the trash, because I'm digging around and get sidetracked on stuff like this. Grandma's diploma graduating from basically middle school. I don't understand how quite the school calendar worked there, given that this was awarded in January of 1928, rather than in September. Maybe they just did the ceremony mid-year. Who knows? But anyway, all right. Well, that's not the type of thing that really be aiming to throw away. So, now to get serious on this before totally run out of time. Now, looking at a suitcase down here, that was a suitcase I used when I was doing a lot of going back and forth between where my parents live and where I live. Just looking to see if I've missed anything that would be an easy thing to throw away. And I don't see any. And what's difficult about this is that, like, I've reached the point where I need to start making hard decisions about stuff that I want to throw or need to throw away. And that's not fun. When you've lived in a place for quite a long time, like I've lived in this unit, we're talking decades. And I hope to not have to go anywhere, honestly. That being said, God only knows, particularly in the, this affordability crisis is something else. Yeah, it's nuts. But, anyway. Let's see. Like, for example, this box of books down here were things that came from Dad's office. And not the type of things that I want to throw away first round. Although, like, this is one of those medical guides that you can look up stuff. It's not the one that we used all the time, but Dad had a couple of these type of reference books. A little medical flow chart where you follow all this and you get down here and it says, you may have congestive heart failure. Let's see right there. You may have congestive heart failure. This is the, I guess the, it predate or the previous evolution of the memes where basically you look up a cough on WebMD and it basically says that you're, you know, that you've got every condition known to man or whatever. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Lots of books, too many books. So probably need to start making hard choices in that regard as well. Oh boy. I should probably title this stream something like I should probably title this stream something like hunting for treasure among thousands of old things. Shoot, guys. All right. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm staring off into space here. Is I am essentially looking at, just glancing around to see if there's... Frankly, I'm not seeing anything in here that, well, there's lots of stuff that's going to need to go down there. I'm not... But, frankly, I don't, I'm going back upstairs to the same room where we started. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. And, is there like a cough button on here? Like a mic muting cough button? There probably is. And I just need to figure out how to do it. Alright, so again, I'm continuing to look for stuff to throw away. And the reason I came back upstairs is because I think the odds of easily and quickly finding stuff for which there's no debate that it should be thrown away is going to go easier up here. A little bit easier up here, supposedly. Although... big progress there. And a paper bag. A couple of random square boxes. Now, those are going to go and recycle anyway. All right, executive decision. I'm going to break down these two boxes. And then I'm going to continue digging through stuff up here. Again, seeing if I can find some more stuff that we can throw away. All right, so here we go. I'm breaking down a box, is what I'm doing right now. These are little boxes that are not big enough to be of any use for anything that I'm needing to do here. But we can get them out of here. As I realized, why am I trying to break down boxes nicely when they're just going to go into the trash? There is, by the way, a right and a wrong way to break down boxes. It's absolutely a thing. Oh! Oh my goodness gracious. Silly me. This entire time, I've had a really big, really obvious thing that I need to get rid of. And that was supposed to need to go out into the trash tonight. I already knew what it was going to be and I forgot. Not exactly uncommon with me, if I'm being perfectly honest. Sorry, taking a drink of a beverage and cheers. Just Diet Coke, friends. I have not had a... I have not had an adult beverage in like 3 weeks. Or what am I even saying? I have not had an adult beverage in like a year. As a matter of fact, I was on vacation. Took a cruise in Africa a year ago. Didn't even drink. Well, didn't even drink on that. But the last time I actually remember having an adult beverage was actually on that trip. I didn't even have a booze package or anything. It was just some little event where you got a free thing of champagne or something. That was the last time I actually had an adult beverage. Just got a text message from a friend of mine. You know you're on the same wavelength with someone when you send them a little like YouTube clip, and they're like, "Yeah, I found this last night. I watched it 3 times." You know you're kind of on the same wavelength as somebody when, yeah. Is a clip about actually about education. I do substitute teaching, and there's a trend right now where, you know, they're really trying to keep as many folks as possible in a lot of the general education classrooms. I am not hip enough on all the current thinking and whatnot to really know like all the politics of it, but there are definitely sides. There are definitely sides to every story. Let's put it that way. Or there are different, or I should say, sides to every issue. And that's a somewhat controversial one. All right. Anyway, so the thing that I mentioned that I'm going to get rid of is this old carpet here. Been around a long time. This is upstairs. And if you see here, like, this is stringy and is like falling apart and stuff. And yeah, so we're getting rid of this. God only knows when I pick this up what's going to be under there. Hopefully nothing too awful. I think I vacuumed here relatively recently, if I recall correctly. Yeah. All right. And, oh God, yeah. So, this is definitely, let me flip the camera around again. Yeah, this runner thing, which is old and disgusting and falling apart, is, I think, probably going to fill up the trash can and completely negate the 15 minutes that you watched me staring at the ceiling in the garage, trying to figure out what I was going to throw away. We'd already kind of condemned this to be tossed, and that's what's about to happen. Put the camera back up. All right. And then the carpet, I put the phone back on the tripod, and then hit the tripod with the thing that I'm throwing away, and almost caused the tripod to hit the floor. Yay. Again, nothing but the most professionalism here on this channel. Alright. Alright. Now, it's called shove carpet into trash. And sometimes I have to cut things to get them in there. I don't actually think I'm going to have to do that this time, though. Honestly. Isn't this glamorous? Aren't you glad you joined in for this? Yes. Whee! that was worth it. If it fits, it sits. Isn't that what cats say? I fits, I sits. Like I would break the trash can. No life music? Anyway, let's see. So, voila. Oh my goodness, guys. That might be the universe trying to condemn me for doing like a live stream or something. Give me like an acid reflux cough or something during while I'm trying to do a stream. Sorry about that. Anyway. So you can see this wonderful carpet that came from upstairs. Trash can closed. Good. All right. Now we're going to make our community donation. This is the pop cans thing I was telling you about. And like I said, thanks to the next state over having one of these bottle bill things where you can redeem soda cans and pop bottles for credit. And I'm probably going to vent about this every week. There's a delightful little song that plays in my neighborhood on Thursday nights. And that sounds like this. That's the song. And that is the song of soda cans being taken out of trash cans and recycles and taken to the next town over where they can be redeemed for like 10 cents or whatever it is. And the amount of abuse, by the way, that goes on regarding those bottle programs is insane. I am definitely not a political person, but just factually speaking, the fact that there are some sketchy things that go on regarding these soda cans is absolutely true, 100%. So, regardless of what you feel about the politics of it, the fact that shenanigans go on with soda cans is an absolute truth, and an unintended consequence of one of these little things like the bottle bills and stuff. It's absolutely true. It does happen. And one of these days I should do like a just retail fraud stories, like live stream or something. I don't think anybody would watch that, but whatever. Anyway, it's because there's a lot of different things that I could say, but every Thursday night when I'm emptying out those those soda cans, it's going to be like Christmas for some folks. Honestly, truth be told, and one of these days I need to tell you about the folks that buy like the cases of water for bottle return fraud, and it's 100%. One of my coworkers is watching this. Yes, the people that buy cases of bottled water and stuff, like 10 of them, and then empty them bottles out in the grass in the parking lot, so they can recycle the cans. That's what I'm talking about here. Anyway, but in addition, they also take all the cans out of our parking lot, or out of our trash cans as well. So, there we go. Now just emptying some boxes. And voila. And about an hour from now, horrible noise, by the way, again, opening the garage to take out the trash. All right, so here we go. Like the conveniently placed trash can to not reveal my license plate, to not dox myself. All right. Woo! All right. So then we have these big blue bins. All right, trash almost done. All right. Well, that was fun. And again, thanks to throwing away that rug, this was not nearly as long of a trash night as I thought it was going to be. There have been nights that I have had to spend like an hour plus debating myself on what I wanted to throw away. And normally, to be honest, on Friday nights or on Thursday nights, and you're going to hear me complaining a lot about this in future versions of this, but you're going to hear me, but quite often on Thursday nights when I'm doing this garbage thing, I'm also working a ridiculous early shift in the morning. My normal schedule for Fridays is 5 a.m. And so then I spend an hour shifting through garbage or things to throw away and then not get enough sleep. That's kind of my pattern for Thursday nights here for the past like 2 months. But anyway, trash was short tonight because I was, after 15 minutes of staring at the ceiling with you guys watching, I remember that I was supposed to throw away a rug. And what I mean by supposed to is when Mom was here, I actually had a conversation with her about, because Mom actually did interior design for a while, and as a hobby, and is quite good at it. And I, meanwhile, managed to hit a ceiling fan with a ring light. Shows what kind of designer I am. But those are two entirely different things. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what else have we got. So shutting down this, and shutting down this. And now we're going to go back up to the disaster of a bedroom, and I'm going to start tossing some stuff around in there. Having a bit of a throwdown. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, welcome to a former colleague of mine. Jumped in here. And, yeah, howdy. We are, basically, I'm doing a room renovation. And starting to empty stuff. Empty stuff out of a bedroom after part of my house cleaning project. Anywho, so we're going back upstairs, and like I said, to this disaster of a bedroom I've got, and I'm going to start tossing things out. And this is kind of awkward, as moving rooms, but you know, whatever. And yeah. Woohoo! You too. Take care. Have a good night. And, whew. And let's see, putting this back up. And we're going to head to the disaster and just start throwing stuff around. Having to throw it out. So, here we go. And here we go. Now about halfway through this stream, what have we accomplished? Well, trash got emptied. And, yeah. Here we go. All right, put this back in. So as you can see, there's about 20 years worth of stuff in this room of various types. And so we're going to be getting rid of a bunch of this stuff. Not really so much today, but yeah. So, whew. And this is a where do I begin type of thing. Now, on an earlier stream, I sat there and basically moved a bunch of clothing around into these cabinets over here. And now, I'm getting rid of them. And now I'm basically undoing that because we are going to be well, in short, this, not the teddy bear, and this are going to be going. This spot is going to be opened up for something else. A beautiful dresser that, unfortunately, I've acquired through essentially inheriting, but it is going to be a but yeah. So what's going to be happening here is essentially we are getting this emptied, and I'm going to be taking it downstairs to that garage where to open up this space for something, well, for something different to happen, or for something different to end up here. And so that's what we're. Woo, that was epic! Wow. That's actually kind of cool. Probably the coolest thing you're going to see on that stream. This stream was right then. So here we go. Here we go. All right. I do have a whiteboard behind me, and it's like the most teacher thing ever to have a dry erase marker board in your own room. And that clock, I have 3 clocks that are like that, and I've told the stories about how I got those before. Not going to tell them again right now, although I'm sure I will in the future. All right, so going through these drawers again in this dresser as we're getting ready to go a different direction with this dresser. So just kind of emptying it out. Again, kind of ironic. I did a stream where I was moving things around and ended up putting a bunch of stuff into here, only to find out a couple of days later that it's going to be a better option if I just get rid of this piece, or at least reassign it to something else. So, yeah. And another empty drawer. This is a thing that I got at, actually I think this dresser that I'm emptying actually came from a local store called Fred Meyer, which is essentially like a Super Kroger if you're from somewhere else in the country, or one of the other 48 different names that it seems like Kroger operates under. Anyway, this came from a Kroger, and let's see here. Oh, goodness gracious. Greeting cards. All of this is greeting cards. Maybe not. I hear something else in here. But there's a lot of greeting cards. And not going to sit there and read all these to you, but obviously, and they're envelopes. I don't want to dox myself or anything, so yeah. So, greeting cards. Let's see. Christmas 05. A greeting card from my mom after my college graduation. A birthday card from my dad on my 23rd birthday, which actually happened to be the day that I walked across the stage for my college graduation as well. 23rd birthday present. Pretty good one, even though I bought most of it myself. Because college ain't cheap. I went to Wazoo. WSU. They have a branch campus in my town. Cards about that. So this is my greeting card drawer that I'm emptying out. Keeping all of these. But this is before this song became political, I guess. Let's see, a birthday card from my parents to me from 07. Let's see, the final day of a cruise, cruise compass. This is on the final day of a transatlantic cruise that we took, I think, in 08. I think this was. And this is the daily program from the final morning when we got off in Southampton. Tons of greeting cards. Obviously not showing this, but let's see. My temporary of when my state switched to the new versions of the driver's licenses, and this was back in 03. My temporary from that is in here. All of this stuff, by the way, comes from all of this stuff comes from again, one drawer. A greeting card from actually the first retail store that I worked at. It was actually just down the street from here. Somebody just happened to photograph the place on a sunny day. Snowy day. Not normal. We didn't even have any snow here this winter, but they did that year. I don't work at that location anymore. Here's a copy of a old envelope that used to be for essentially the cash registers of the store, at that same store that I worked at. They have changed these so many times. They're pink now and are basically a bunch of Well, these are pink and not nearly as complicated. Basically, it's just now a sign-off sheet because everything is automated that used to be on here. But anyway, random CD probably has music on it. Anybody remember CompUSA? Let's see. More birthday cards. When I worked with the cruise line, they had these little scrapbooking kits that were actually really cool. That for a while they actually gave away if anybody came to scrapbooking class, which frankly not very many people did. What would happen? The company invested in these neat little booklets. The thing is, people would not really go to the scrapbooking class, but then a couple of people that would attend would find out that the packet was really cool. And then we have a bunch of people show up on the final day to see if they can get all the scrapbooking things from the previous days. Which, the cruise lines were very big into not upsetting customers, but it was definitely not what the intended use of the program was, and I think eventually it was discontinued. Which is kind of sad, but anyway, let's see. Another Christmas card from my parents. High school graduation photo. That's me. Birthday card for my 20th birthday from Dad. Oh, here we go. Huh. I was not aware that I had this still, but nonetheless. This is a program from my high school graduation back in 2004, 2001. And Thunder Blue, Forest Green, and Ice Silver. It's actually talking to one of the florists at the store where I work. And I couldn't exactly name what the exact colors were of that particular high school. I was thinking neon green and neon blue. Thunder Blue and Forest Green. What even is Thunder Blue? But anyway. June 14th, 2001. I found in a previous video, I discovered that my dad and I actually both graduated on a June the 14th. Not too surprisingly, hopefully, different years. Another birthday card from 03. Excuse me. Sorry. Keeping something stuck in my throat here. So this is like my graduation drawer that we're in now. interesting. So, like, here's a key card booklet from the from a hotel that we stayed at a Disneyland trip, and this was a trip back in '02. As a matter of fact, room key card from the trip here. That's my mom and I. Apparently their pool is open from 5 to 10 p.m., at least it was in '03, and it's on the 5th floor. That little piece is getting thrown away. Picture of mom stays. Cards, envelopes, speeding this along a little bit. Cards. High school graduation cards. When I was a kid, right before I graduated high school, from my grandma, may she rest in peace, and interestingly enough, when I was in middle school, the lead secretary actually knew my parents in high school. Yeah, they were the same generation. And it became kind of a deal. Which was quite cool. And we learned about it when I, as an elective in 8th grade, decided to be office aide. And just came out that she actually, again, knew my dad and my mom, which is pretty cool. And so she sent me a card when I graduated. And, well, here it is, boys and girls. You spend all that time. If you're in high school and you wonder what are we doing here, the point is to get that. That's my high school diploma. Still here. Interestingly enough, with a kind of engraving of what high school looked like. I mean, apart from the 20 portables. And kind of sad in my mind, but they tore that building down in 2021, I believe. Or 2022. But anyway, my high school diploma from the high school still exists, but just a new building, and yeah, but the and when I talk about the secretary from my middle school, actually I now every so often sub at that middle school. Obviously, she's long since retired, but anyway, yeah. Okay, next round. This is where it occurs to me that actually those boxes that I broke down a little bit earlier probably would have been a good place to store some of these greeting cards. I've shown kind of in other videos, 18th birthday card. But I have shown in other videos that at the time, when I was 18, I was already talking about being involved with education, so somebody sent me, this card is a lot like a career in teaching. There's no money in it. Don't know if I want to laugh or cry. But anyway. Christmas 2010. Class of 2001. Cards and cards and cards. My grandma never threw away cards. My dad didn't throw away cards. I don't throw away cards. Jumping forward in time. Card for my 30th birthday. Anybody remember Grumpy Cat? (2014). Oops. Oh, here you go. A invitation to my high school graduation in 2001. We have laughed, learned, and grown together, but for now we pause to celebrate in pride. The Mountain View High School seniors announce our commencement exercises Thursday evening, June 14th, 2001, 9 o'clock, at a place called Mackenzie Stadium, which is essentially the football field that my high school shared with another local high school. Anyway, class flower was the sterling blue rose. Class colors were thunder blue, forest green, and ice silver, and I don't know what thunder blue is, but anyway. The class song, remember, oh goodness gracious, Once Upon a Time, Boys and Girls, there was something called Boys to Men, and So Hard to Say Goodbye. And then the quote in here is that famous Dr. Seuss quote that tends to pop up at the end of school years. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. Oh, the places you'll go. Not sure if anywhere I've gone yet, but there you go. And a decorative cover for one of these. A map from like an old history textbook of like the Civil War. Once upon a time, prior to them changing the register system at my store, the company that I work for, this is what the old receipts look like before they changed the register system. This is which they did in like 2002 or so. That's what the receipts used to look like. But yeah, slightly different. Gallon of orange juice for like, well, a half gallon of orange juice, 2 for $1. And why did I keep this? Well, I was a brand new cashier at the time, and frankly, this is the first time a customer had left a receipt behind at my register that had my name on it. And so, for bragging rights... Anyway. Folders. Now we're in my high school graduation stuff. Excuse me. Yikes. Here's what I looked like in a high school graduation photo. Walking across the stage. You remember personal CD players? Like Discmans? Had one. Here's a manual to it. Trash. Remember this type of headphones from like airlines? Came from Delta. Much better than what are handed out now, by the way. But there we go. Here we go. List of high school graduation related stuff. Friday, June 8th, 2001. Senior barbecue from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. This is for Mountain View classes of 2001 members only. Sign-ups were in your CWP classes for those attending. Seniors attend all classes during the day. Final exam for seniors will be in periods 2 and 4. The district was experimenting with only 4 periods instead of 6. Only they were, I think, 78 minutes instead of 52. That program botched, and they went back a few years later. But anyway, only periods 2 and 4. All fines must be paid, and all seniors must turn in their completed senior financial clearance form no later than 2:30 to the registrar's office on Friday, June the 8th of 2001 for my high school graduation. Let's see. In high school, I was they had something called outdoor school. And basically that's where 5th graders went outside, and well, 5th graders hung around outside, and or basically they spent 2 nights at like an overnight camp and learned about science stuff for a couple of days during the school year. And it was a lot of fun. They don't do any more budget whatever, legal whatever, you know, can't have fun in the world stuff. Anyway, and then they would do these campfires for a couple of nights where they would sing songs and stuff. And anyway, I was a counselor at this, and I kept the songbook. So, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, that's my name too. Anyway, and there's a whole bunch of others. Basically an empty notebook, along with some notes that I wrote for a for something I was doing with Microsoft Flight Simulator at one point. Flight Simulator was my favorite game for years. Lots of notebook paper. Excuse me, guys. I need to go get some water or something. Oh my goodness. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, goodness gracious. I mentioned at one point that I had a lot of Taibo work tapes when I was a kid. Turns out that you could have bought a punching bag. This is kind of cool. My dad at one point actually owned an employment agency. Where basically they found jobs for people. And remember, I'm going to mirror it real quick. Where long story short, when people would come to his employment agency, they would have to, and this is back in like the 60s and 70s in San Francisco, they would have to fill out one of these. And it's like their sign up or registration paper. And yes, he named the business after himself. But yeah, they and it would ask for things like, what type of business have you been in? Were you in sales? What kind of product did you sell? How old are you? What experience do you have? Any remarks? Yeah. So when you went to Dad's employment agency in the 60s or 70s, you would get this. If you inquired about Dad's employment agency, you would receive a form letter like this. Thanks for inquiring about us. Oh, here we go. This was my first food handler's card. If you do the type of job that I do at the store, you have to have a food handler's card, which is basically a cash grab, because you have to go every couple of years to be told that to scan groceries or to push shopping carts, that that chicken should be taken from like 140 degrees down to 35 degrees in like 20 minutes to avoid the temperature danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. And then you have to pay $10 for the privilege. It's probably more now. Back in the day, you had to go to like this place by, well, downtown. If you're familiar with my area, by Clark College to do that. And it took part of your afternoon just to do that stupid thing. Here at a local grocery store, I don't know why I have a pig. I don't know who they are. I know who that bear is, but I don't know who they are. I don't know why I have that. Papers from Dad's employment agency. pad of paper from Microsoft. This was clearly my scratch paper drawer. I was very organized in high school. Like, my notebook was like organized by subject every semester. Still the unused extra tabs. Here's adding machine tape. Adding machines for you youngsters out there were like calculators that would print. They're actually a bit before my generation too. There's one of these in the accounting office, and I never used the printing. Interesting thing about adding machines is that you type in the numbers first before pressing the plus or the minus. And after a couple of years working in the accounting office and doing it that way, now, if I am trying to use a traditional calculator where it's, you know, something plus something else equals, I end up tripping over my fingers and screwing it all up because, believe it or not, it's like ridiculously faster to do it the adding machine way, which I did not know until I started working in an accounting office about 6 years ago. Christmas bow. Some 3x5s, including what happens when the discoloration of paper after a while. You can see the top one versus the others. Three by fives. Once upon a time, if you got, if you were trained to work at the customer service counter, like for example the complaint desk, you also had to get customers or CPR trained and first aid trained. I don't know why, but people trained for the service counter back then had to do that. And this was my, and the company paid for it and everything, but this was my first CPR and first aid training certification there. Luggage tag from our cruise to Alaska in 06. Random receipt. Let's see what this was for. Some Christmas stuff that I bought at a self-checkout in December of 03. Let's see, mouthwash, a mailing box, a Christmas plush, a Christmas plushie for $2.99, and it wasn't even the day after Christmas. And some aspirin, probably because the store gave me a headache. All right. This tripod is sitting on an uneven surface because why wouldn't I do it that way? So, and then these last two drawers, ironically, in the last time I did one of these streams, this was what I was trying to, these are what I was actually putting stuff back into after sorting. So now I'm going to be taking the stuff back out of it because I'm emptying out this chest because of some new information I got 2 days ago. So, just taking, these are basically my gym shorts that I had just put in there like 2 days ago. And frankly, if you're so inclined, if you're really interested in, if you wanted to watch, if you wanted to watch me put these in, sooner or later I'm going to post a live stream from a few days ago where I actually was loading this and doing what I'm doing right now. But so I'm not so I dug through all this stuff already. I'm not going to tell you about this stuff again. Or maybe I will. Hey, it's gym clothes. There. Done. All right. That's fun. All right. Okay. Did you just take most of that stuff out of there and throw it on the floor? No. But why? Because we're going to deal with it when we get this emptied out. And we get this piece of furniture out of here. No, it's lightweight enough that I could probably just keep all this crap in there, all the drawers in there when I move it. This is embarrassing. That's dust. Yeah. And believe it or not, much of my house looked like that until like 2 days ago with that dust and stuff. Which magically coincides with when Mom came to visit for a couple of days for the first time in years. Crazy how that might have happened. Part of the reason why I decided to live stream this stupid stuff is to keep me actually doing this stupid stuff. I have the propensity to fall down the YouTube rabbit hole and the ChatGPT rabbit hole and just start screwing around. And in my free time, which I don't have a ton of, I'm not getting anything done. I must have put that lower shelf in wrong. Son of a biscuit. Whee! I got this thing when I was a college student, this dresser. Mom did dresser or cabinet? Is it a dresser or cabinet? I guess it's considered a dresser. I don't know. Yeah, it's considered a cabinet if the door's shut, right? So, dresser, I guess. I mean, if the doors like swing closed. I don't know. But anyway, I call it what I want. Another long-term colleague showed up. This is one of our company's receipts from 2001 to my colleague that just joined in. Anyway, let's see. This is a remote for that thing down there. This is a DVD player. When's the last time I watched a DVD? Probably pre-COVID, if I'm being honest. And here are some vintage coins that were dispensed to me from a self-checkout machine at my store like 3 days ago. Don't get me started on penny rounding, folks. Remote. So, this TV is getting moved. This is a really cool. This one's older than it looks, and is being moved. Basically, so I can get a next gen one that yeah. My daily update, and again, I post daily videos about like a 10-minute recap of what's going on in my life. And frankly, I'm going to be actually filming one of those videos here in, oh gosh, the next about 20 minutes, give or take. But anyway, going to be, I've come across, or going to be ending up with a couple of new one of these, and a much newer one. So this is going to be reassigned. And God help me if I accidentally unplug this clock that's right behind it. Kind of entertaining watching these little AI-generated summaries of what you're talking about. Organizing a messy drawer. If I had feelings, they'd be hurt right now. Messy? And sharing old receipts. Old? It's like, that receipt's only half my age. Anyway. Want to watch a $1,500 Oops? No, this one's really old. I don't think it has a lot of value. But it is being reassigned. All right. And Dust Bunnies. DVD player. That particular clock, I have 3 clocks that are like old school clocks, but none of them have actual dials where you can reset them. So if that gets unplugged, then I have to wait for 24 hours or 12 hours to replug it in at the right time. I try to avoid doing that. Why do you have clocks that look like they come from schools? Because I'm a school nerd. All right. Ready for Hulk smash? Or at least Hulk pickup? Yeah. All right. All right. Garbage. Now, we're going to play a game called How Many Greeting Cards that I've thrown on the floor earlier in the stream can I destroy by dropping the chest of drawer thing on top of them. Anyway. Ay, caramba. All right. So now, we have a garbage can that I emptied earlier in the stream. And we what's this? So a little poem from a family member. one of the daily programs from a cruise that my parents took to Alaska that I wasn't on. God bless them, but there goes that. Random shoelace. Probably have a use for it at some point. Lots and lots and lots of expo markers. I am rather connected to the education profession, and as a result, I have a lot of expo markers and things. Again, I do have an expo marker board right behind me. Oh, well, this little box is like a perfect size for expo markers. I would not be surprised if half of these markers are dead, to be honest. But I'm not testing them right now. Expo markers, for those of you who are not really deep in education world, are dry erase markers. I actually have a dry erase board right behind me here. Yeah. This is the whiteboard. This, that is kind of dried on there. I'm going to have to use like Windex to get off. I was practicing a line that I was, and it says, that I was pondering, but never did, using in like a middle school context. This is like back in October. I will interpret any random number blurted out to be announcing your age. What am I talking about? In middle school, blurting out numbers to announce your age? 6, 7. Lots and lots of people claiming to be first graders during those months. Really amazing. It was kind of cool, however, when there were a couple of weeks where it seemed like the number 42 started having some kind of significance besides being the answer to the life, universe, and everything. Which was kind of neat for... Once or twice I was able to actually say that that was my age. And so they must have been talking about me instead of themselves with 6, 7. But, anyway, that then all that seemed to subside. And I think we have all of our numbers back. I think the youth allowed us to have the numbers 6 and 7 back finally, I think. But box. One, two. This is like a spoon with a face on it. I don't even know what these things are. And there's a fork with a face on it that's kind of creepy. I don't even want it. I don't know. I don't know on this one. All right. What else? RFID blocking ID and boarding pass holder. So if you were one more scam prevention type of thing, I did not have not ever used that. Obviously. Right. Well, that being said, everyone, cleaning a messy drawer, messy again. Gosh, they're judgmental, these AI summaries. Anyway, with that being said, friends, it's 9 o'clock, and I said that I was going to go around and clean up stuff until about 9 o'clock, And so I'm going to be disconnecting here in just a moment. Honestly, I'm going to be then spending a few minutes writing notes, and sometime in the next hour or so posting that daily update vlog on this same channel. So if you end up watching the recording of this later on or whatever, and I've mentioned vlogs several times, yeah, just check out my profile. You'll see them all there. I'm going to be filming that and recording that here in just a couple of minutes before I get ready to bed, because, well, honestly, I'm going to be substitute teaching tomorrow morning. All right, everyone. So with that, thanks for joining me. Lots of in and out during this. But if you're here at the end, or if you're here at any time, really, thanks for joining me, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Ciao.